Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're taking the new Luffy and Law Super Evolution Laffy Taffy over into some Grand Voyage, taking on the specific Dex and Cerebral fights for Mr. 3 over at Little Garden, as well as the Arlong fight over on Arlong Park. So, before we dive in, I do want to give a huge shout out to, I believe his name is SC, I believe, I can't exactly remember off the top of my head, as well as Chaozu. They are the Grand Voyage building goats. I don't do too much with Grand Voyage. I just find it very finicky, it's very restrictive, and I'll try and do more content when the demand is there, but a lot of people told me that this character was really good for those fights, so I thought I would sort of dive in and try out some of those. However, the little 3 one was proving to be a little bit of a problem because of like the cost restriction. So I did use SCZ's video as a guide. I changed it a little bit, so it's not exactly the same, but I'll leave a link to his channel and Chaozu's channel, all of that stuff in the description. Make sure to go show them some love. Hit up their videos, smash them with a like, hit them with the subscribe button, because they definitely do deserve it. So, as I mentioned, Luffy and Law, they are both... There are a bunch of different classes. They're a fighter slasher in their dual form. Law is a cerebral slasher, and Luffy is a free spirit fighter. So you have access to 4 different classes, as well as 2 colors. So they can work across the board in lots of Grand Voyages. You have the free spirit one, the free spirit quick one for Bucky, which, look, this character is not exactly the best character for. You have characters like Verse Luffy, who is just absolutely destroying that. I do have another video coming out soon, and shout out to Chaozu. I did use his video as a guide as well for that. It's like the easiest Bucky team I've ever seen in my entire life, and it was so much fun to run. Other than that, you could probably take on Vivi over at... can't remember exactly where it is, but you need to bring quick fighters. So it's another place that this character can shine. And if there's enough love on this video, I'll have a look into it and see if we can do some fun stuff there. But if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Make sure to go show those 2 guys some love, and let's dive in. Alright, so let's start off at Arlong Park against Arlong. For this fight, you need to bring 6 cerebral characters. They all need to be Dex, and you need to have a Nami on your team. You also need to clear it within a certain amount of turns. So the team we're using looks a little bit like this. We have the Memories of the Straw Hat Nami is our captain, with the Usopp support to block the conditional buff on the final stage. We are using Luffy and Law as a friend captain here, because we are using Law and Beppo on our team. Law and Beppo are another fantastic character that just work really, really well in a lot of different Grand Voyage, namely the Int Slasher ones, as well as the Dex Cerebral ones. So they're like another character that works great, but obviously with the Law clash, it does make it a little bit annoying. Usual culprits here, we have Hiyori on the team. She's fantastic. You kind of need her 1 orbs, and then you need to bring Vivi Rebecca. I have the 6+, but the 6-star of the V2 Vivi Rebecca will work absolutely fine. On the first turn, we're going to spam a bunch of specials, because we do need a chain lock. We need to lower defense here, and you just basically need a lot of damage to kill that back mob unit, because he's very frustrating. So we're going to swap with Robin Koala. We can use the Robin Koala special to get 3 turns of an orb boost. We're going to get the carryover color affinity. We can lower defense with Lord Beppo's switch ability, and we get an attack boost. We also have the Brook support to tank the damage on this particular stage. Now, if you don't have as much investment as I do, you can replace Brook with the Barto support. I do believe I got this particular strat from the Chaozu video, so make sure to go check out his video over there and give the guy some love. You do have some burn here, so you, like, as you can see, I was hitting goods and greats. You don't want to take burn damage, because you will die eventually. Like, you need to make sure you have enough HP. The ship is not level 12 as well, so you can get more damage with this team if you want to level 12 the Victoria Punk. But mine is just level 10, so just be mindful of that. As we got the extra orb buff for this particular stage, we have the attack boost from Lord Beppo, and then we have the Wano orbs still locked in thanks to Nami and her orb blocking. She gives the 3-turn chain boundary as well, because you used her super type on turn 1, so that way you get the carryover of that, and then you can move into the next stage against the Arlong Pirate Donnies. Now, they give you paralysis and despair, which obviously Nami's not going to remove, because you get despaired first. So this is where the Hiyori comes into play. She's going to remove the bind and the despair. You also need to get around resilience, so that Rizo support is pretty essential to do end of turn damage and remove some binds. And then to remove the paralysis here, we are using the new Luffy and Law. Luffy and Law, when you use the Luffy special, can remove paralysis. When you use the Law special, you can actually remove bind, which is really, really handy. So Law and Luffy come into play quite nicely here in both the fights to remove paralysis, and they're just sort of like a great replacement for the 6+ V1 Nami level of Break 5. I was using Luffy and Law in both as a friend captain in both these fights, just to sort of show you guys that you don't actually need a level of Break 5 for any of these characters like for the extra abilities, I should say. You don't need a level in rank 5 yourself, besides obviously investment for like damage potential. But at the same time, like the damage does seem pretty safe here because I'm hitting like a bunch of grades and stuff. If you guys have less investment than I do and you're trying this team, let me know in the comment section below what your investments look like and how much damage you're actually doing there. On to stage 4, you come up against Hatchen and some more lackeys. Your middle row gets special rewinded. But that's why we have the Sabo support, or the Lucy support I should say, on VV Becca. You switch with VV Becca and use the VV Becca special, and that's actually going to give you 3 turns of an attack and orb boost. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, their level in rank 5 might be 3 turns attack and orb. It might be 2 turns of that level in rank 5, so they might be the only ones on the team that kind of require that level 150 tag. We're going to use the Nami special once again here. She obviously got all the cooldowns thanks to her super type, as well as the Robin Koala special. So that way we get back a chain boundary for this particular stage, and then that way we can easily take out good old Hatchen and his lackeys here as well. As you can see, we're still hitting goods, we're hitting greats because we have very low HP, and that burn will kill us because of the death shot that lackey gave us on turn 3. The Gene Bard support there helped out a little bit to get the super swap of Lord Beppo, as well as tanking some damage. So as I mentioned, we have that Usopp support there. Shout out to SCZ, I did snake that from his video. It basically just blocks the conditional buff on this final stage. It's very important that you guys do that because you have an interrupt here if you do any conditional buffing, which Lord Beppo does. So now we have an attack boost, we have an orb buff, we have final tap buff, base stats, and we have full bottle Wonder Orbs thanks to, I believe it's thanks to Hiyori, because we just sort of locked them in. Nami locked them from the previous turn, that's why we want to use her special. With a bunch of greats, we can just easily kill Arlong there. Arlong does have the revive, he puts up a barrier, so that's where the ship special comes into play. And then we can just bink the Nami attack, and we can easily kill Arlong on the revive there. So again, very nice team, works incredibly well. No 6+ Nami, using the Memories Destroyer Nami for the first time in this quest as well, which is really nice to see. Alright, so the next fight is against Little Garden, and again, this one is a huge shout out to SCZ. Again, I apologize for getting that wrong. I'm actually pause this and just go check that. So yeah, I've been saying it correct. It's SCZ69. So shout out to him for this particular team. I essentially just use Luffy and Law as a friend captain, and I'm reusing my own category oven with the Law support on Corazon. So again, this way you don't need to have level limit break 5 Luffy and Law. We are using a baby version of Vivi Rebecca, so that's how we're getting around the cost restriction for this particular fight, because the 6+ of Corazon is essentially needed. I tried so many different comps before looking up some other people that might have done this, because like I just getting around the cost requirements and then having like enough damage for certain stages and like getting around hunger and special limit, it was all very finicky whilst trying to use Luffy and Law. Luffy and Law for this quest, they're not like they work really well, but they're kind of just other characters that do it better, namely Shanks and Buggy. Shanks and Buggy can kind of just do what they do, but have the ability to remove the special limit, which therefore means you can replace Katakuri and Oven. But again, I've done so many videos on this particular fight already up on the channel, but this particular team, it's so beautiful. Like it works so damn well, and obviously with Usopp and Lilith, another fantastic character for the cerebral, not only the cerebral dex, but the cerebral strength one. Against you need to bring a VV, so it's not against VV, I can't remember who it's against, Mr. 3, I believe. Like, they just work so damn well, and the reason they work so well over here is because they give you bomb orbs. That means you don't have to use the kid support, and there's a lot of stages that have an attack down if you have certain multipliers, so having the bomb orbs actually means you can actually hit with fairly nice damage. The downside to running Katakuri as a captain is that you actually don't have access to a pretty good attack boost for your int and your quick characters, namely Law and ulti when you're in Black Maria ulti stage. So just be mindful of that when you guys are doing your tap order. Like right there, we use the barrier pen of Usopp Lilith and the ability of Luffy Law to break through that Dex Orb barrier, which works quite nicely, but remember they don't have a captain ability from one of your leaders. On stage 3, you come up against Dory. This is where we're going to use the Black Maria and ulti special. They give you a conditional boost against delay, which they do, and they also give you an attack buff. We can switch back into Luffy now. We're pretty much going to stay in the Luffy variant the whole time. Keep switching with Usopp Lilith to give yourself the bomb orbs, because as you can see, this is a stage where you actually have to attack with some sort of orb that's not a type orb. Vivi Rebecca in the bottom left there will get special reversed as well as special lock, so make sure you're getting goods down there as well. And with that Lion Song Zora support, you can actually tank the death shot from Dory as well. Moving on to the Broggy stage now, as you can see, we are just tapping through that attack down. We're going to use that to block the attack down that gets inflicted on the final stage. However, Corazone's going to remove it anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. The ship at level 12 is required because this stage gives you 10 turns of paralysis. So with Corazone, Black Marine ulti, and the ship, you remove 3 turns of it, and then we can use our good friends Luffy and Law once again to remove the 7 turns of paralysis here. Now you can't use an orb boost on the final stage, so using Luffy Law here and not on the final stage is pretty much essential, and that's why having Luffy Law as a friend captain works really nicely, because you can use the Law support on Corazone to give yourself a 1.75 orb boost, and it just makes the damage like so free on the final stage. Like it's ridiculous how much damage this team actually has when moving into that final stage, and honestly making its way through all of these little stages as well. As you guys will see here when we hit Broggy, like you just hit so hard because you have matching orbs that are bomb, which bypasses all of those nasty shenanigans. Luffy Law give you a weakness buff there too, which gives you a lot more damage. And then you can move on to the final stage against, I cannot remember her name, the little painting girl, but it's like Mr. 3 and Miss Golden Week or something like that. I don't think it's Mrs. Golden Week, but I can't remember. They stun your bottom row, they give you despair, they also give you paralysis. So having Category Oven here is perfect. You also get block orbs, so they rotate those. They cut your HP so that you remove the stun. Corazone can heal you back up, remove the despair, paralysis, and the attack down. Then you get the orb boost thanks to the Law support. You can then use the special of Vivi Rebecca to remove the defense up and the damage reduction. Use the Category Oven special once again to get the conditional buff to defense down, use their super type to set defense down and get end turn damage, and then use their special again to get a chain boost as well. That way you don't need to switch with Vivi Rebecca to get the chain lock. You get a better chain boost. So as you can see, you start at a 2.8 chain and then you just like make your way through, and the damage is just like, you have so much damage here. Like I hit with 2 extra characters that just don't need to hit. The end of turn damage from Category Oven did the trick. You still have 3 turns under your belt, and it's just an easy peasy clear. So once again, shout out to Chazzy, shout out to SCZ. You guys are the goats, but I thought I'd put out a video with Law and Luffy because a lot of people did ask for it after the Zoro video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Make sure to go show those guys some love. Like I said, links to their channels are in the description, but most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Later!